The Pascal Siakam trade rumors are heating up, and they have been non-stop. With the February 8th trade deadline fast approaching, there is a lot of stuff coming out. It seems like it's only a matter of time until a Siakam trade happens and the Toronto Raptors officially usher in a new era. What's going on, everyone? It's Luca here, back with another video. In this one, I'll be taking a look at the latest Siakam rumors, which have just been going absolutely crazy as of late, and give you my take on everything. If y'all can do me a solid favor, please hit a like on the video. It helps it a ton. And also, please subscribe to the channel for more Raptors and NBA content just like this. So the Raptors and Siakam are believed to be on the verge of parting ways. This is per Bleacher Report's Chris Haynes, who did say this on Friday. It has been reported that there's a high likelihood that Siakam is moved ahead of the February 8th trade deadline. There have been many teams linked to Siakam. I mean, the Hawks, Pistons, Mavericks, Pacers, Kings, and Warriors have all recently popped up in rumors. Woj pointed out that Siakam is going to have a lot to say in where he goes because he will be an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season, and we already knew that. Per Kurt Heelan of NBC Sports, Siakam's people are telling every potential trade suitor so far that he plans to test free agency and wants a full 4-year max contract, which is 4 years at about $184.5 million. Heelan says because other teams see him as a potential rental, the discussions have been nowhere near what the Raptors expect as a return in this trade. The only team that could offer Siakam a market rate extension right now is the Raptors. And even though this is a possibility that Siakam and the Raptors could agree to an extension, Siakam and the Raptors are nowhere close to an extension. This is per Woj. Therefore, if a team trades for Siakam before the trade deadline, they would run the risk of potentially losing him in the summer. So he could essentially be a rental for that team. The simple fact is, Siakam being on an expiring contract complicates his trade value. And this is why the Raptors would have been better off trying to trade Siakam last season, which is something I suggested when I wanted the Raptors to move on from him and Fred VanVleet, or in the offseason, where he would have had a full season left on his deal. Now, let's take a look at the potential Siakam suitors and what they could offer. It has been reported by Josh Lewenberg that the Raptors are targeting young players with star upside in a potential Siakam deal, which is what they did with OG Anunoby getting back Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett instead of first rounders. This suggests that Masai Ujiri is more interested in a retooling than a full-on rebuild. Now, I know the Atlanta Hawks are shopping DeJounte Murray, and they have been linked to Siakam a ton, dating back to this past offseason, but it doesn't really make sense for the Raptors as they already have Emmanuel Quickley there. The Pistons have come up, but I don't see them trading any of their core young players, and they just freed up a bunch of cap space, so they could just be hoping to sign Siakam and throw him a bunch of money this summer. Same goes with the Sixers, who have been linked to Siakam. They will have some significant cap space to work with. Now, a team that has come up a ton as a potential suitor for Siakam, the Indiana Pacers. And the Pacers pairing Siakam with Tyrese Halliburton would make a lot of sense for them. The Pacers had extensive conversations at the G League Showcase in Orlando about this, trading for Siakam. I think Indiana has some of the best assets to offer. This is what Michael Scotto said. And then per Kurt Heelan, Toronto wants Benedict Mathurin or Jarris Walker in any trade with Indiana. However, the Pacers are not interested in trading away their young talent for a player they can sign as a free agent this summer. Pacers will have a lot of salary cap flexibility. Plus, if Indiana did trade for him, there would be no guarantee he would stay, as is the case for every team in this situation that wants to trade for Pascal Siakam. Now, another team interested in Siakam, the Dallas Mavericks. This is according to Jake Fisher of Yahoo Sports. He says that there's people in the Mavericks organization who think Siakam is a missing piece that you could potentially pair with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, and all of a sudden, you look up and the Mavericks are a legitimate contender in the West. The Sacramento Kings have been linked to Siakam, but they reportedly pulled out of trade talks. The Raptors probably wanted Keegan Murray, and the Kings didn't want to include him. Also, per Sam Amick, sources believe that Siakam doesn't view the Kings as a good long-term fit if the Raptors choose to move him there. And then there's the Warriors. Both Shams and Woj have reported that the Warriors are interested in him. However, Woj did call it a difficult pathway for the Warriors and Raptors to get a trade done. So here we are in the midst of all of this, trying to figure out what will happen with Siakam and how the Raptors are going to navigate this whole situation. If I had to make a prediction on where I see Siakam going if he gets traded, I think it's going to come down to the Pacers, Mavericks, or Warriors. So let's first start with the Pacers. I don't know if the Pacers are going to budge in terms of giving up Mathurin. This is the deal that I would ideally love to see happen involving Pascal Siakam. I mean, if the Raptors can somehow get Walker or Mathurin in a Siakam deal, that would be awesome. And then the Mavericks, they make a lot of sense to me because they got aggressive and traded for Kyrie last season. So they could do the same here. And I do think Siakam on that Mavericks team would make them a title contender. They would make things interesting in the Western Conference. And with the Raptors wanting young talent, the Mavs have Josh Green, Jaden Hardy, Prosper on their roster. And then they have Tim Hardaway Jr., who could be Trent Jr.'s replacement. And then there's the Warriors, who to me make the most sense because I think they're under the most pressure here to make a big trade and turn things around because they can't just waste the season with Stephen Curry at 35, and they are in desperate need of a change. That team, as constructed, is not going anywhere. And they got two young pieces in Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody, who could be the centerpiece of a deal. And then obviously the Warriors have cap filler guys too, like an Andrew Wiggins or Chris Paul. So those are a couple of teams that make the most sense to me. Like I said, I would put the Warriors at the top of that list, but it seems like right now the current situation is that the Raptors have made it clear that they want to trade Siakam, but the offers they're getting aren't to their liking, which is causing, I think, this holdup. However, they have to do something because if the Raptors let this play out until the summer, they can lose Siakam for nothing like they did with Fred VanVleet. Hopefully, Masai Ujiri can finesse a deal and something does get done before the trade deadline. But based on everything that's come out, it does suggest that it's only a matter of time until Siakam and the Raptors go their separate ways, which will officially start the next chapter of Raptors basketball. And I'm all here for it. I mean, you guys know my take on Siakam for a while now. I thought it was in the best interest of this team to move on from him, going back again to last season. And it feels like Siakam has been in so many trade rumors over the last couple of years. So this has been a long time coming, it feels. And for those people saying, why not just bring Siakam back? Because you'd have to pay him the max. He's turning 30, and this team isn't contending with him right now. It's about picking a direction for this Raptors team, acquiring young assets and playing the long-term game. And it's not about the now. It's about the future for the Raptors. So that is why it is in best interest of this team, especially since they just traded OG Anunoby, signaling this youth movement and finishing the job. And hopefully, like I said, getting something done with Siakam that is going to make a lot of sense for this Raptors team before the trade deadline. And hopefully Masai can work his magic one more time. We'll see how this whole situation unfolds from here on out, but where do you see Siakam landing? What do you make of this whole situation? Let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Hit a like on the video. Also, please subscribe to the channel for more. That is it for me. This is Lucas signing off. As always, thank you so much for watching. I will catch you all again in the next video.